Greetings and welcome back to another powerhouse episode on the 𝐼𝐻 Scholars channel. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Dr. Orobosa, and on this channel, I show current and aspiring healthcare professionals how to, 1, quickly and successfully earn their degrees, and 2, how to start, build, and enjoy profitable careers within the business side of the healthcare industry. And so make sure you subscribe to the channel and of course turn on your post notifications. I promise you don't want to miss out. Now today we are doing a live Q&A, so I'm very much live, and I will give individuals a few moments to come into the session. If you are here, just let me know, say hello in the chat box, let me know where you're tuning in from, and I'll be more than happy to greet you and to put your information up here on the screen. But once again, I am live tonight for our monthly Q&A session. In this session specifically, I'm going to talk about career pivoting, as well as asking for pay raises, DHA programs, and so much more, and really just going over some of the questions that I have received since the last live that I hosted. So if you're tuning in, make sure to say hello to me. I can see you here. Let's see. I see a few people are coming in. All right. Okay. All right, so as I stated, without further ado, tonight's Q&A session is all about answering some of the questions that I have received over the last few weeks since our last live. And so I always like when questions come in. So if this is your first time tuning into the channel, feel free to drop your questions in the description box. I do tend to answer them when I see them come up in the description box, but also in our live monthly Q&As, I do make an effort to try to give you an informed answer as much as I can. So while we're waiting for people to come in, I have some exciting news. And so we have an event coming up here at the 𝐼𝐻 Scholars headquarters. So I'm super excited about that. Many people have been asking me about mentorship and if I mentor professionals. And so I have been thinking about ways on how to cater to that request and came up with the 𝐼𝐻 Scholars Trailblazers mentorship program. And so on April 26th, which is next week, Wednesday, I'll be hosting an info session just to let you know what this program will be all about and if mentorship with me is the right fit for you. And so if you are available, you can access the registration link in the description box. I'll post it probably after this live if it's not there. Also, if you follow me on LinkedIn, I do have the link available in the last blog post that I've written titled, How Can Clinical Professionals Transition into the Non-Clinical Side of the Healthcare Industry? So I see people tuning in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. I'll make sure to pull it up. If you want to say hi, I'm very much live tonight. And so feel free to say hello and let me know where you're tuning in from. All right. So if you're looking for mentorship, it's a group mentorship, is a very small cohort. So I'm thinking about taking about 10 individuals from the info session to mentor them. So make sure you sign up, come to the information session. I want you to be fully abreast of what the mentorship program will be all about. It will be 4 weeks long, and we're going to go really deep and really helping professionals who are interested in the non-clinical side of the healthcare industry try to position themselves to get hired. And so I see a question that has come up, and I'll take those questions in just a second, but just let me know where you are from. So that is the event that we have. So I have a few questions. So in between my questions, I'll take up your questions. So the first question that I received from our last live chat was, should I pursue a master's in public health with a business focus, or should I pursue a dual degree of a master's in public health and a master's in healthcare administration, or a master's in public health / master's of business administration with a healthcare concentration? And honestly, I can't give you an answer to that. That's really depending on your interests, your career goals, and your expertise. Is it great to take a dual program? Absolutely. So if you're that person who is trying to decide whether between public health and business administration, then a dual program may be right for you because you get the best of both worlds. If you are interested in doing a MHA, MBA with a healthcare concentration, once again, it's catering to both worlds. So feel free to just explore, look up universities that offer dual master's degree programs. If the curriculum aligns with what you prefer, aligns with your interests, aligns with your time commitment and financial commitment, then I tell you, go for a dual degree. Should you do public health or a master's of health administration, once again, that's up to you. I will tell you that for an individual who's pursuing a public health degree, you're very much interested in understanding the health disparities that impacts communities globally. Whereas a master's of healthcare administration is more of a business-driven degree that focuses on the operational side of the healthcare industry. Same thing with the master's of business and administration with a healthcare concentration focus. Now, the MBA is a more diverse type of degree because in that degree program, you're going to be touching on all aspects of business, whereas the MHA is very specific to healthcare administration, healthcare management type of business. So once again, you really have to kind of sit down and see what are your particular interests, your career goals, your time commitments, your financial abilities to be able to pursue a master's degree. All right, so I'm going to pull up some questions that I have here. So I see a few people are coming in. So the first question I have is from MD Naheem. What's the fee from a master's in, I think, science, health informatics? I am not sure. Fees are vary from program to program, from university to university. So I would just tell you to look up the university, explore their admissions page, get in contact with an admissions counselor. They will tell you the exact fees. I am not affiliated with any type of university to be even able to give you a fee, but I will tell you that if you're interested in health informatics, that's a great degree path, and there are programs out there. You just need to find a university of choice and be able to answer that question for you. But thank you for tuning in. All right, I see Alicia says here, yes, thank you for the mentor session. So excited. Alicia, welcome. I'm so excited to have you at the mentorship session as well. I hope that by the end, you'll be able to move forward with me being your mentor. All right, so I have another question from Mamadou. Do you do one-on-one counsel or mentorship? So right now I'm not doing one-on-one mentorships. I'm putting together, well, I put together a group mentorship program, which I'm taking about 10 professionals who I'll be mentoring for the next 4 weeks. If you are interested in group mentorship, I will encourage you to come to the info session that I'm hosting next week, Wednesday. And in that info session, we're going to talk about my mentorship program, which is titled the 𝐿𝐵LAZERS Mentorship Program. And we'll go over the curriculum, what you can expect, what is required of you, and etc. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely when I post the description link, just sign up for the description. If you're a part of the For Health Scholars newsletter, I do usually do a recap of our lives, so you'll get the link there. You probably received the link already because I emailed the community yesterday, or was it yesterday or today, one of these days? It was yesterday actually, about the upcoming mentorship session. So to answer your questions, I do one-on-one like career chat sessions if that's another option for you. And I can drop that link as well when I do the write-up for the description box of one-on-one. You can schedule that with me. That is paid. All right. So I just want to put that up at the forefront, that the one-on-one sessions with me are paid. And once you make your payment, then we will meet for 30 minutes to an hour to just discuss what you're looking to follow up on or have questions about in your career. Okay. So I see Alicia says, my name is Alicia. I'm a post-bachelor clinical research coordinator in New York City. Oh, from my city. Welcome, Alicia. Looking to get into public health. Well, Alicia, you already have a great foundation. Clinical research will prepare you for a public health role. I don't think you're far off for wanting to go into public health. It's a pleasure. Thank you for following me under the For Health Scholars channel. And I do hope to see you in the mentorship info session next week so we can kind of dig a little deeper on what are your career goals. But from the for it, just from seeing it at hand, I would tell you it's not far off, and it's great. And I'm wishing you all the best with that. All right, let's see. Hello, Oluwabumi. Welcome back. Hello, how can someone apply for the SAT? There's different requirements. You just have to look at organizations that offer an SAT and be able to follow their criteria, and that's how you're able to apply. Once again, I don't have any affiliation nor do I administer an SAT program. So I hope that answers your question, but thank you for joining tonight's live. All right, so I'm going to go into some of the questions that I have, and then I'll come back to the comment section. But if you are tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Dr. Orobosa, and I am the founder and host here at the For Health Scholars channel and community. Tonight, we are live for our monthly Q&A session, which I give our community members the opportunity to ask me questions live. And so if you have a question, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. I do see it here on my dashboard. And so in between time, between the questions I have and the questions from the audience, I'll make sure to answer everyone's question tonight. All right, so let me go to the questions that I have. Okay, so the next question was, I have a bachelor's of nursing degree, interested in the field of healthcare administration. Should I get an MHA degree? So ideally, having a master's degree is an excellent degree to have, especially if you're looking to excel in the management side of the healthcare industry. I know that for many people right now, they're like, well, the economy is changing. Is this something I even need to have to get a job in the field of healthcare administration? And it's really, my honest answer to you is that you don't necessarily have to feel compelled to get it, but it's always an asset to have a master's in degree, particularly if you're a nursing professional and you're interested in the field of healthcare administration. Do you want to transition or pivot from the bedside or the clinical side into the administration side? So an MHA degree program can give you the foundation and insight of what it takes to operate on the business side of the healthcare industry. You may find that many clinical programs don't touch upon in great detail what it means or entails to run the business of healthcare. So an MHA degree may help you with that. Okay, so the next question I received: as a junior in a healthcare management program, do I have any tips for breaking into the industry? I'm finding it difficult to enter the industry. And for the person who asked me this question, I definitely understand. I think right now the economy is doing so many things that I have never seen before in my own career in being a healthcare management professional in academia. So it's not only healthcare administration, it's across many industries, even in the academic world. For the most part, enrollment is low at many universities, and there's so many reasons for that. And so I can definitely understand the challenges that you may have, but I don't want you to give up. There is hope. Like any time we go through some type of recession or change in the economy, it gets bad and then it gets better. And so you always want to prepare yourself for the better. And so if you feel like, you know what, this is something that I'm very interested in, because for me, I don't see myself doing any career in another field outside of the business of healthcare. I don't see that for myself. I'm very much a person who loved the career choice that I made. And I will tell you that just as you're breaking into the field, look for opportunities to do fellowships or do an internship somewhere. If you can volunteer, I know it's not ideal because many people are like, hey, I have bills, I need to take care of myself. 100% understand. But if you want to get that expertise under your belt, we have to do some of the things that for a season or for a moment, it may feel like it's a little bit rough, hard, but it will definitely pay off in the long run. So look at internships as a potential option, or you can do fellowships, and fellowships for the most part are paid. So that's a great way to acquire experience, get paid. So usually they pay you like a salary or even a stipend per week or per month, depending on that organization. And that can help you break into the industry. Another tip I will tell you is to network. Even myself, as a person who has been in industry for a while, I have to still network. I still have to put myself out there. I do consulting outside of academia. And as a consultant, you always have to be on on your toes and you have to meet people. So a lot of this parts of many industries is about connecting with people and having conversations with people and being able to have yourself at their forefront for those who are able to get you in the door of an organization. So and we're in a digital space right now, so LinkedIn is a great platform. Try to make a goal to have a conversation with somebody in the industry at least once a week, whether you're commenting under their posts or looking at the people that they follow, going to the events that they may speak at, going to networking events. I was going to do a video for this, but last week I went to a hiring event fair and I had an amazing experience there. So I wanted to record a video on that. But just at the forefront, look at job fairs, look at hiring events, especially in the healthcare space. Now, you can do something like a quick Google search, upcoming job fairs near me, and they'll list it. And many organizations are having job fairs to look for people. So they're bypassing that online application component for, I would say, not permanently, but they're really trying to meet with people directly to see if they're great fits to get these positions filled. So you definitely have to step out the box. I will tell you that, but all hope is not lost. I want to encourage you. I want to tell you the truth at the same time. It is a bit challenging to get into the field, but it's not impossible. All right, so I'm going to go back to the comment section. Let's just see who is on. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. My name is Dr. Orobosa. I'm so excited to have you here. Make sure you feel at home. If you have a question, you can drop it in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to answer your question. Okay, so the next question comes from Alicia. She says, how do you recommend finding funding for PhD in public health? Are they usually fully funded? So there are some fully funded programs. Oftentimes, to get fully funding, in exchange, you become like a teaching or a graduate assistant or teaching assistant. So you'll start your teaching career as a potential person who's in a PhD program, and that will help you get your program fully funded. I know the University of, I think it's Michigan. It starts with an M. There are universities that have a PhD program, and they do have scholarships that are fully funded that covers the cost. I know that Harvard University does the same thing. Yale University, they do. So you, as the potential PhD candidate, need to do your research. But to answer your question, are they usually fully funded? It depends on the university, but there are PhD programs that will pay for your full ride or give you a certain amount. Because remember, the doctoral process, unfortunately, it's not linear, meaning that when you start from point A, you're going to get to point D in a straight line. No. In the doctoral program, it is quite different than your bachelor's or even master's degree program. You may be on a particular section for a year, so writing your dissertation, and it usually happens once you transition from PhD student to PhD candidate. All right. So when you are enrolled in a doctoral program, initially you are a PhD or professional doctorate student. Then when you take the exam, or there may be some type of writing component that you have to pass that will confer your PhD candidacy, and you pass it, then you become a PhD candidate. And what that means is that you're working on your dissertation, and at the end of your dissertation, you are going to submit that to reviewers for them to review and determine whether your research qualifies you to become a doctor. So keep that in mind. I do have a video, not next week, but the week after, that's coming out, and it talks about the different types of PhD capstones in the business side of healthcare. So particularly the Doctor of Health Administration, but you could apply that same content to public health PhDs as well. And I tell you to check out for that. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, there are some programs that do offer fully funding, and I do recommend it, because a PhD program, it can be quite expensive out of pocket. Listen to me. In my program, I had a scholarship, and that scholarship gave me about $500 every semester, and that scholarship was for 5 years. And so fortunate for me, I was able to finish my program within that kind of time frame of that scholarship. But what I know now, if I knew it back then, I probably would have made a few different choices when it came to doing my doctoral program. So this is why I'm sharing it with you. All right. So I hope that answers your question, Alicia. If you have another question, just drop it in the chat box. Okay. Jimmy says, nice to meet you. Just be real. Absolutely. I'm a person who believes in Jesus Christ and God first. So I don't want to lie or present something that is not true. That is not my character. All right. So Empty says, I need someone who can help me show in front us funds in our bank account. Is healthcare informatics a good course? Are there enough jobs available in the market for this? So I can't address the first part. I don't know what you mean by bank account, but is health informatics a good course? Absolutely. We do need individuals who are skilled in being able to translate data into design for a given healthcare facility. So with health informatics professionals, you really help design what the EHR system looks like. You help really design how an organization collects data and use that data to help move forward in their organizational goals to deliver patient care. So it is a great industry to be in if you have the ability and the know-how and the passion for data and data analysis. Becoming a data analyst is a great way to help you prepare for an informatics course if everybody's pretty much looking for a job. So you have to put yourself out there. If you are unemployed but wanting a job, just continue to network with people, apply to jobs, and that will help you. All right. Kwanda says, hi, Kwanda. Welcome. It's great to see you again. Alicia says, amazing. Thank you. You're welcome. All right. So I'm going to go back to some of the questions that I have here that was previously submitted. Okay. So the next question I had was, can a microbiologist pivot into health informatics? So I see this is a role that many people are interested in. I actually did a video during my career Miss Series that talked about health informatics as a potential option to break into the healthcare field. So if you are a person who's interested in health informatics, it's a great field. As a microbiologist, you can pivot into health informatics. Particularly, you may find public health informatics more aligned with your current background as a microbiologist. So that's an option that you can explore, but you can. All right, so the next question I had is, I'm about to graduate with a bachelor's in health service management. I currently work as an administrative assistant. How do I ask for a pay raise? So this is a very great question. And if you've been following me here on the channel for a while, you know that I posted 2 videos that talks about how to negotiate your salary. And so it's right for you to want to get a pay raise. You've acquired education that now positions you in a different pricing bracket. Now, how do you go about it? Well, I will tell you, if your job does annual employee performance reviews, that's a great opportunity to explore that. Or if you don't, or if your annual review is far from the time now, then just simply put a nice email together asking about, a potential raise. And if you watch that video, I'll link it in the description box as well. I give you some tips on how to go about that. But before you ask the raise, put some metrics together of the things that you did to help create transformation in your role as an administrative assistant. Because as a person who was a former hiring manager, and there were times that my employees came and asked me like, hey, I've gotten my degree. I would like a raise. Even myself, as a person who has gotten degrees and had to, ask for more income, it is very much doable. But when I asked, I made sure that I had put a nice, recap of all of the things that I were able to achieve and how this new education that I acquired can continuously support me being able to provide great productivity and great performance at the organization. Now, do prepare yourself that the answer can be no. It can be not now. It can be yes, we are willing to give you a raise, but you should have some company insights as well. What is the current health of your company? If your company is getting ready to go through layoffs, then asking for a pay raise may not be the best time. But if you feel bold enough to still ask, Absolutely. But just kind of understand what's the current environment in the organization that you're working in. But if you get credentials, that's the purpose of getting a credential, to help you, of course, use new skills in your role, but also leverage a higher salary. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the comment sections. I see Roseanne. Hi, Roseanne. Welcome back. She says hi, hello. All right. So I don't see anything else in the queue. So I'm going to go back to the questions that I had. Okay, so the next question I received was, I'm currently a MHA candidate and I'm thinking about getting a Doctor of Health Administration degree. How often do you see candidates jumping into a DHA program? Do I recommend a break in between degrees? So I think this is a really great question. And I would tell you, I have rarely seen anybody really, after getting a master's degree, said that they want to move forward and getting a doctorate in the health administration field. I haven't, in my own personal experience. When I have worked with colleagues and managed teams of people, they really were at the master's degree. I didn't see anyone pursue further until I met myself, until I did it myself, I mean. And the advice I would tell you is to make sure that you're ready for the journey ahead. Your DHA program or any type of doctorate program, once again, it's not the same as doing a master's or undergraduate program. At the doctoral level, you're really looked at as a professional in the field, and you are working towards creating research that really helps you add to the body of literature that is already out there, or to solve a problem. So for a DHA program, you have a couple of options. You can do a traditional dissertation, or you can do a capstone project. And so in my case, I did a capstone project, which included writing a dissertation manuscript, but I also had to do what we call a practicum. And a practicum required me to do, I think, 150 hours at a healthcare organization solving a problem that they had. So I had to look at the organization, see where some of their problem areas were, and identify a problem, and then create a whole project around it, which included me writing a dissertation, but also reporting out to that organization after I was done with my dissertation on how they can improve the problem. Some programs just want you to do the dissertation. Other programs may have you do a portfolio. So you really have to do your research on the different universities that offer a DHA, which it's becoming more popular. When I started, it wasn't as popular. And do their research on their curriculum, what they look for in doctoral candidates. And do I recommend a break in between degrees? Well, I can only speak from my experience. Yes, I did have a 2-year break before I went to my doctoral program, because I didn't think I was going to do a doctorate. And so if you watch my video on becoming a healthcare administrator, and I shared my story, I didn't think like, oh, I'm going to become a doctor. Like, that was spoken over me. It was a word that somebody prophesied over me. And I heard it and I took it and I ran with it. But when I graduated with my master's degree, I wasn't thinking like, oh, I'm going to do a doctorate degree. I thought I was done. At the time, a master's degree was like, it was like a high, like a great accomplishment to have a master's under your belt. Now, times are changing and people are wanting to embark on the doctoral route, which I highly, highly recommend you to do if you feel like that's something that you want to do. But know that it is a journey that you probably never experience and never will experience once you're done. All right, so to answer that question, so I see some people coming in, so let me just greet you really quick. So I see Soul from RC, hello from Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you so much for all you do and share. Truly appreciate it. Solange, hi Solange. So I'm actually growing a presence in Trinidad and Tobago. There's a few people from Trinidad and Tobago who follow us here on the For Health Scholars channel. One day I may have to come check y'all out. I have never been to Trinidad or Tobago, so I may have to add it on my list of Caribbean countries to explore. But thank you, and thank you for your kind words. All right. right, so we have another comment from Anthony. Anthony says, hello. Hi, Anthony. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you who are just tuning in, if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat section or the comment section, and I'll pull it up here to answer. But thank you, Anthony, for joining. And also, if you're watching on LinkedIn, I forgot to share, if you're watching it on LinkedIn, you can also post your questions in the description section, or comment section rather, of LinkedIn, and it will show up on my end as well. All right, so let me go back to the questions that I had. Okay. So the next question I received, I have a BHA and I'm now looking into getting an MHA online. How much emphasis is put on school accreditation? A lot. You shouldn't do a program that is not accredited. And I'm just being honest with you. Here in the US and pretty much most places around the world, at the academic level, you don't want to do a program that's not accredited, because it means that your degree won't be valid even when you've received it. And there were so many universities that have gone out of business, or students have been able to get their money back because they lost accreditation or they never were accredited, and it just, the degree doesn't have any value. So that's the first thing that you should be looking for when you're doing a degree program, whether it's online or if it's in a person or a traditional campus. You want to make sure that two things happen. The university is accredited, and also your degree program is accredited. Okay, so the university has their various accreditations, and then specifically, whether it's the School of Public Health, School of Healthcare Administration, Management, you want to make sure that that school program is accredited, because you can see cases where the university is accredited, but the program is not. Right? But accreditation is a big thing, because that gives you validity of your degree, making sure that you went through a degree program that meets the criteria of the Department of Education. Once you graduate, that degree represents that you have the skill set and know-how to operate in this field. So several things. Another thing, if you are a person who is interested in doing the licensed nursing home administrator license, you need to get your degree from an accredited university in order to meet one of the state regulations, or if you're doing the national exam, to meet the national regulations. So accreditation is a big thing. Okay, so the next question I received, do you know what online programs that are respected in the field? So I really kind of refrain from talking about different universities, because of I haven't gone to all universities. The universities that I attended were actually three, and then I worked for two universities and did some guest lecturings for others. But I will tell you, in order to know which program is best for you, look at their reviews. Speak with people who went to the university. I will also tell you, go to, like, they usually have some type of like information session before you enroll in that program. Go to those information sessions, look at who the professors are for that given program, see what they are doing outside of working at the university. So one of the things that as a professor you should be doing is what we call community service and community activities. And so putting yourself out there, whether you're doing this through research initiatives or actual types of activities. So in my case, this Creating for Health Scholars is an extension of my dissertation. My dissertation was very much invested in human capital development on the administration side of healthcare. My community service activity was now to pour this knowledge that I have received back to other individuals who are looking to take such a path. So you want to look at your professors and see what they're doing outside of the university. That will also let you know whether the university of choice may be right for you, especially at the doctoral level, because and even at the master's level, you're going to have a supervisor over your thesis, and that's at the master's level, or your dissertation or capstone project at the doctoral level. And you want people from the industry to be able to encourage you as well as prepare you for the path and the journey ahead. So I hope that answers your question. For the person who dropped it here, I would tell you, so a couple of a program I know for sure at the master's program that I know international students as well as students in general would have a great experience at is Monroe College, and Monroe College is based in, they have a couple of locations. So they have one in the Bronx, they have one in New Rochelle, and they have a Caribbean-based campus in St. Lucia. I am a professor who works for Monroe College, but they didn't endorse me to do this. But just as a person who has worked for this organization, I really see the commitment and the efforts they put behind students to make sure that you excel. So that's one college that I do know offers a online program as well. For a master's program, they don't do doctoral studies. Doctoral studies, another university that I had a conversation with, I don't necessarily endorse them, but in having conversations with their program director for the doctoral program, so DHA, was the University of South Carolina, no, the Medical Center of South Carolina. I know it's MUSC. They have a DHA program, and I spoke to the program director a couple of times in my own path when I thought I was going to transfer universities. The director was very, very nice. She was receptive to my questions. She answered my questions, and she wished me all the best and the journey ahead. She did not speak poorly of the university, in which I was having some challenges with at the time, but I really appreciated that the director of the program was easily accessible and wanted to speak with me. So those are two programs at the top of my head that I can honestly say that if you did a degree with them, you wouldn't have a bad experience. All right, so if you're tuning in, you can drop your responses or questions in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. All right, the next question I received: does the Commission on the Accreditation of Healthcare Management, or the CAM accreditation, matter? The answer, once again, is yes. The accreditation matters, and the CAM is the accrediting body for healthcare administration and healthcare management programs. They also have I believe it's the ASSCB, that's the accrediting board for the business administration programs. You do want to go to universities and colleges whose programs are accredited, because that accreditation means that your degree program aligns with the criteria from the Department of Education here in the US. Overseas, they may have some different types of ways they kind of define accreditation, but you don't want to go to a school that is unaccredited. It will not help you in the long run. It will actually be a really big waste of your money. So I hope that answered your question, and the university will let you know that they have a CAM accreditation. It's a part of their marketing. Like, here, we're CAM accredited, or we're I think it's ACCSB accredited. You'll see that. And that's a great first step. It shouldn't be the only factor that you take in consideration when you are determining which degree or university to do, but it's a very big factor. So keep that in mind. Ask questions, like go to the information sessions, sign up and have someone like an admissions counselor reach out to you. This is these people's jobs, okay? And their goal is, at the end of the day, to get you recruited to their university, but I want you to make sure that you are making a decision that will benefit you in the long run. That's the best way I can answer that question. So CAM accreditation matters. All right. So those are all of the questions that I had on my end from looking at the description boxes in YouTube and just on LinkedIn. If you're tuning in and you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer the question. I usually keep the lives about an hour long, but if you don't have any questions, I may end it a little early. But if you're tuning in from LinkedIn, tuning in from YouTube, I really appreciate the view and your support. All right, so I'll give you a second. Does anybody else have any questions? All right, let's see. Okay, Kwanda says, with the healthcare management degree, will it be better to get a bachelor's degree or a master's? Kwanda, that's a really good question. And I will tell you, it should be based on several factors. I won't tell you one is better than the others. Some people prefer to diversify their background. So some people get like a business administration bachelor's degree. Then at the master's level, they get a MPH because they like to diversify the knowledge they have. Then you have other people who are like me who just did the same degree, but at a different level. So my bachelor's degree was health administration. My master's degree was health administration. My doctoral degree was health administration. Now, at the master's level, I did specialize in a certain field, which was operations and leadership, human capital development at the master's degree. When I got to the doctoral level, I specialized in healthcare leadership. So my program was health administration. Then in the midst of my program, the two schools merged. So the business administration school and the school of health professions merged. And then we all fell under the umbrella of business administration. So technically my degree is a degree in Doctor of Business Administration with health administration as the subcategory. And then subcategory of that is leadership. That was a school thing. Each school has their own requirement. But to answer your question, I don't think any path is better. I just think what's best for you. That what is best for you? What are your goals? And Quanda, feel free to let me know some more information. What are your goals? What are you looking to do with this degree once you receive it? And what is it that is like a must-have for you, or must for the university to offer you in order to go to that university to acquire that degree? So let me know in the comments a little more information, but I don't think one is better. Every degree has their respective criteria, respective abilities, and respective benefits once you acquire it. Quanda, but thank you for the question. All right, so I see a few people have joined back in. So if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. I am hosting our monthly Q&A sessions. And so this is just an opportunity for subscribers and community members to ask questions and get their questions answered live. And so if you have a question, you can drop it in the comment section, whether you're watching from LinkedIn or on YouTube. You can just drop it in the comment section and I'll put it up here to ask and answer, excuse me. Okay, so we have another comment come in. Divya Raj, hello, hi, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the support tonight. Do you have any questions? Jimmy, let's see. Jimmy says, okay, all right. Okay, I have another question here. Okay, Ashley says, do you have any advice for a person interested in studying healthcare management and policy doctoral programs? Yes, I do. I will tell you first things first, make sure that this is something that that degree is a degree that you're willing to give up a lot of things in the process. And when I say give up, it's just for a moment. But if you are a person who is big on family and spending time with family, when you get into the doctoral program, you may not be able to spend as much time with your family, especially when you get to the dissertation writing stage. Like the first 2 years here in the US, you're doing different type of didactic courses. So it may be a little easier for you because especially if you did a master's degree in health administration or public health or health management. But the dissertation phase is like a child. And like any child, you have to cultivate it, you have to raise it. It starts as a baby. And when that baby is well developed, the school with the reviewers will now be like, okay, your research is sufficient enough and you have written a body of work that warrants you to become an expert in the field, aka doctor in that respective field. So first things first, making sure that you have the time commitments to be able to do this degree. Also, do extensive research on your programs. It's not a hasty thing, and you shouldn't apply to, I would honestly say, more than 3 universities at a given time, because the application process is also very detailed. So in the doctoral side, you have to write a few essays, actually. You have to write a few essays. You may have to do interviews similar to like a job. And you really have to convince the interviewers that you are an ideal fit and a great candidate to come and do a doctoral program at their university. Healthcare management is amazing. That has been my background. Policy falls under that umbrella. Now, they have some schools use healthcare management and health policy as a specialization under like healthcare business or administration or health and care administration. But it is a great degree background to explore. It's becoming more popular now. When I started, it wasn't as popular. You didn't really hear people talking about, hey, they're getting a PhD or a professional doctorate in healthcare administration management. More people have stated that they were getting PhDs in public health. Public health was quite popular, but now healthcare management, healthcare administration are also gaining popularity. Also, I will tell you, can you afford to take a DHA program or to complete a PhD program? Look for fully funding options or scholarships, okay? It's not cheap to do a doctoral program, but if you can get fully funded, that's amazing. If you can get some funding to support your research, that's excellent. Also, if you're a person who has goals and dreams to go abroad, and you're interested in working in a healthcare system abroad, going through the school path may prepare you for that and may make that transition very easy. Well, not very easier, but a little easier than a person who doesn't have education from that system's country. So there's many things that you need to take in consideration. But the first thing, do you have the heart posture and the time to commit to a program that is going to be very intensive? It's going to be very intensive. There's going to be times where you're really going to sweat. They said sometimes the doctoral program may make you have blood, sweat, and tears. I didn't have any blood, but I definitely cried a few times. And I was definitely sweating a few times, especially when it was getting towards the end. I will tell you, my dissertation got rejected 6 times before I got the final approval on the 7th time. If I would have given up on the 5th time, the 3rd time, I wouldn't be here today with the degree under my belt. So I just want to give you insight. Now, everybody's experience may not be that way. In my case, I didn't have the best of best mentors. There was a lot of different things happening. I didn't know as much as what I know now. But as a person like who's been joining this community, I hope that I'm giving you everything that you need to make that decision. But research on your own will be helpful. So that's my advice, Ashley, that I can give to you. Okay, I'm going to go to a couple of more questions. Kwanda, I will keep you posted. And thank you so much. Okay, perfect, Kwanda. Devia says, hi, you call me Dev. You can call me Dev. Okay, I'm from India and I need answers on a few questions. Okay, you can drop your questions here. I could try the best to answer it to the best of my knowledge. Okay, the program is the Doctor of Public Health at Johns Hopkins. Oh, yeah, their program is really great. Johns Hopkins is a university that is very affluent in the field, especially in public health and the health sciences. You will meet people from all around the world who can support you in your doctoral journey. So if you gain admissions to Johns Hopkins, I don't think you will regret that decision. Okay, Ashley says, thank you. Okay, you're welcome, Ashley. Okay, Deb says, I'm working as a senior AR for a hospital as a provider. I want to do short/term course so that I can get deep into a subject for a career. Let me see. Maybe I'm trying to process your question to see where the question is here. Okay, you're a senior accounts receivable specialist at a hospital, and you want to do short-term, maybe a short course so you can get deep into the subject of the career. So let me know if I'm not answering this correctly, but I think you may be interested in the certification path. And so certifications can help you gain like an influx of information in a shorter period of time versus a full-fledged degree. From what I'm seeing here, I'm pretty sure it's the same in India. That's finance. So if you want to be an accounts receivable, you may want to do another finance certification in healthcare that can help you out and help you gain a comprehensive understanding about the finance side of the healthcare industry. So I hope that answers your question, Dev. All right. For those of you, it seems more people are tuning in. Welcome. We're just doing our monthly Q&A. If you have questions, I have about 10 minutes left that I can spare. Feel free to drop it in the comment section. I'll pull it up here and answer it to the best of my knowledge and abilities. But I want to thank each and every one of you for joining in tonight's Q&A session. All right, so let me go here. I don't see any additional comments. Also, just as a friendly reminder, and I should have did this before I came live, but I am hosting a info session for a potential group mentorship with about 10 professionals in the field. And next week, Wednesday, which is April 26th, I'll be hosting an info session about the mentorship program, what it looks like, what you can expect, and if this is a good fit for me to mentor you. I know a few people have asked me about mentorship and do I do mentorship? And my answer is I was trying to figure out the best way to mentor individuals. And so I think I figured it out where it's doable for both you and I. And so I'm having an info session. So here's the information here. Also, let me see if I can grab the link really quick. I could probably drop it in the chat box. I should have, forgive me for not doing this earlier. Let me just see. Okay, I got the registration link here. So I'm gonna just drop it in the comment section, and then in the description, if you just come back after the video goes, I will make sure to have it well written in the description box. But let me just drop it here in the comment section. Okay. Mentorship info session. All right, so I have dropped it in the comment section and you should see it here. So this is the link. If you click on it, it should take you directly to the registration. The event is free. Okay, just to clear that up, it's free. It's an info session for you to learn about the mentorship program to see if it's a right fit for you. It's an hour long, so from 7 to 8 p.m. It may go a little over just to answer people's questions, but I like to stick to time. So for me on my end, what I have planned, it will take an hour. If people have questions, of course, I'll answer your questions during the session if it's appropriate. But check us out if you want me to mentor you. I'm excited about that. And looking forward to speaking to those who showed up. So registration has been open and people have been signing up. So the last time I checked, we had about 15 people who signed up, and I have posted the information on Monday in a post that I did on LinkedIn. So people are finding out about this. I also blasted in our newsletter for the week. So you can find a link there, but I hope that mentorship program will be something that is of interest to you. Like I said, I'm only taking 10 professionals. All right. And that's for the first go round. After the first go round, I'll open it back up again for another group of people to be mentored. But the goal is to prepare you to either kickstart your career or advance for success in the non-clinical side. So I'm not doing any clinical mentorship, but if you're transitioning, so if you're interested in leaving the clinical side and coming to the non-clinical side, then it may be a great fit for you. But I am not mentoring clinical professionals because that is not my expertise. Okay, so I see a few questions coming up, so let me pull that up. All right. Ashley says, I have one more question, please. Any thoughts on healthcare leadership doctoral programs? Okay, so I did a healthcare leadership. That was my specialization. It was in healthcare leadership, and it's similar to healthcare management policy. The specialization comes in with maybe a few courses that you do on a didactic side as a doctoral student, and then your dissertation. So the topic of your dissertation may fall under the healthcare leadership umbrella. In my case, I looked at why there were gaps in a particular gender being prevalent in the executive side of the healthcare leadership spaces. So I looked at to see why there was a gap between men and women being promoted up into executive leadership positions. And I particularly looked at a problem that was prevalent at a given organization that I did my practicum in. And so a practicum is a little different than an internship, because with the practicum, you're going there to collect data for your capstone research. Whereas an internship, you're just acquiring some experience about what it is to work in that organization. But a practicum, you're coming there with the intentions to collect data to help solve the problem that you have identified for that organization. So I would tell you, go for it. If you feel like the leadership field is for you in healthcare, absolutely. I did it. And I do consultancy work, and I also teach. So it's been helpful for me in the classroom, as well as when I'm consulting with clients and helping them solve problems that is prevalent in their health system. So I'm looking on try to pick up another consultancy project in the near future. And yeah, I would tell you to go for it, Ashley, if that's what is calling you to, if you feel that that's your calling. All right. Angela says, hi, Angela. Oh, I'm glad to see you. She said, I just want to thank you publicly for your selfless service. You give great advice. Oh, my goodness, Angela, thank you. So actually, let me shout you out, Angela. So Angela, I came to the resume writing masterclass I had like a few weeks ago. And we had a chance to go in deep and work on her resume. I really met Angela. She's residing in Trinidad. But she really has a passion to excel in the public health side. She's already established in Trinidad, so she has worked as a public health investigator. So I'm truly honored that she is tapping into my network for advice. But she was an acting chief public health investigator in Trinidad. So just to give you some insight on her background, she's very much looking forward to advancing in an international career. So we worked on her resume. I gave her some advice. I also sent her a couple of job recommendations. And so, Angela, I hope that it works out for you. Keep me posted. But thank you for tuning in and for your kind words. Okay, Ashley says, much appreciated. Great, Ashley. Great and cool. Hi, Kenya. Welcome, Kenya. It's also good to see you. So I would love to see our ones who like the community members who really show up and come every time I do this. I appreciate it. And Kenya says, wow, awesome for her. Yes, Kenya. So we work together, and I'm very excited to see how far Angela will go. And she's doing an international career change. And so we'll see. I'm wishing the best for her. And to know, Kenya, you're doing the same is amazing. And Angela, she says, I hope everything works out for you. Me too. Me too. All right. So I have about 4 minutes left. Anybody final call for questions? I hope this was helpful. From the words and the comments I'm seeing, this has definitely been helpful. And like I said, I'm going to try to keep this up, do it at least once a month, and answering people's questions. So don't feel like I don't see it when it comes out under the description boxes. I try to capture it. I try to respond there. If you are on LinkedIn, you ask me questions over there. LinkedIn is a little more structured, for questions, because on YouTube, because I have a few videos up, the comments come from all of the videos. So it'll be like you're trying to compete with all of the comments from all of the videos that I have posted. Whereas LinkedIn is just one inbox. So if you really want an immediate answer, I will tell you, reach out to me on LinkedIn over there. And here's my LinkedIn information. Just send me a DM there, and I usually see it and I'm able to respond. All right, let's see. You're always helpful. I've gained so much info from you. Oh, thank you, Kenya. And I really appreciate you showing up and supporting me. I even saw today, Kenya, that you left some comments on the last video I have posted. So it was did you ask a question? Let me try to go back and see if I can see it really quick. Okay, I can't see it right now. I know there was I think you asked a question. Something about patient access. So if you remembered it, you can drop it here really quickly. But if you can't, don't worry. I saw it, and I am going to respond when I have a moment to just sit and do it. But if you can remember, ask it here. Okay, so this is the final call for questions. If you are just tuning in and this is your first time meeting me, my name is Dr. Orobosa, and I am so happy to have you here at the For Health Scholars community. I'm really dedicated to equipping and encouraging healthcare professionals interested in a non-clinical career, and really showing you how to do that, how to kickstart your career, how to advance in your career, and how to make sure this career is profitable for you, right? Because when we do all of these degrees, at the end, we want to make sure we use them to help us get paid. And I know right now there are some changes that is presenting a few challenges for many individuals from different workforces, but I will tell you that the healthcare industry is one of the few industries that will always remain in demand. I know right now you may say, well, they're only asking for nurses and clinical professionals. That may be the case, but the healthcare organization itself still has to run. So there is much a need for business professionals as there is for clinical professionals, because clinical professionals alone cannot run a healthcare system. The doctor is not in the behind the scenes actually billing and handling claims, but at the end of the day they want to get paid, so they need business professionals to support them in that. I will tell you, in the digital era, 80% of the jobs are actually not posted online. So this is where networking comes into play. And if you're a person who is like, well, I'm reserved or I'm not sure where to start, I was just like you. I'm a very reserved person, but when it's time to get things done, I know that I have to show up, because you need people to help you get to places like that, and especially get your foot in the door. So there's something that I always hold on to, and I'm biblically, it's just you need man to help you. God uses man to help you and bless you. So being a part of this community is great, but if you are actively looking for work, get your networking game up. Start small, make a commitment to one event or speak to one person a week, then build up to 2, 3, have candid conversations. Be a part of communities like this. I'm pretty sure there's other healthcare administration, management, and public health communities out there. So see what's out there, stay connected, look at professional associations. If you don't know where to start with finding like organizing bodies, professional associations are great for that. But it is not promises, but there's hope rather for you as a non-clinical professional to excel in this field. How you do it is looking a little different than when I started. But even as a person who's still in the game, I still have to get out there and put myself out there, because I do consulting outside of working as a professor, and always have to be hustling. So last week I went to wasn't career fair, it was a hiring event at what was the name of the organization? Houston Methodist. And the event was great because we were talking with hiring managers. We got our resumes in there, consultancy work. I even got an opportunity to speak to somebody, because one of the hiring managers was like, hey, your background as a doctor in this field, we need you in human subject protection. Would you be interested in that? So put yourself out there. I'm sharing what I am personally doing myself, because I know it's the game and the economy is nitty gritty. So I hope this helps. All right. Give me a second. All right. All right. So Angela says, thanks for that advice on funding for PhD programs. You're welcome, Angela. So I don't see any other questions in the queue. So I'm going to end tonight's live here. But once again, and as always, thank you for tuning in to tonight's live chat session. If you have questions, you can always drop them once again in the description box. I do try to capture everybody while the community is still at a manageable level as we grow. All right. But as always, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share with someone who you know will benefit from this information. And until next time, bye for now.